Obviously elated with the extension. You know, it's been a dream of mine, obviously, to coach Division I basketball, but to be able to do it and to do it in your hometown and to do it with people you love doing it with has been awesome. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a lot of people, but I dang sure wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Martin Newton, our athletic director. And you know, I came here to Samford because I saw his vision for the program, and he wanted a program that could one day be great. And that's kind of that's what we're on course to do, is to be great. We've kind of gone from not necessarily very good to good, and now we're trying to take that next step to great. And with a guy like Martin Newton, he was the one who hired me, I know that we're going to get it done. And then Dr. Beck Taylor came on board. And when you have two guys like that who have a vision and have been graded about everything they've ever done at a university that is just top notch, I got a great feeling that we can build something really special right here. And for me, I'd rather be at a place where you can build something long term, have a culture of winning. And that's what this university has, this athletic program has. If you look at it like our university, literally it feels like we won a championship in about every sport this year. And so it's great to win one in basketball and bring home the first Southern Conference championship here to Samford, and it's going to be the first of many. So we're looking forward to doing a lot of great things, and I express a lot of gratitude to Dr. Beck Taylor and our athletic director, Martin Newton. But what that's really saying is this extension is that there's an appreciation to what is going on here, and that is, I'm just a small part of that. That's from the players, that's to the administrators, that's obviously to the fans that we have, and all the supporters, because this hadn't just been a Samford thing, this has been a Birmingham thing, and we've had so many supporters all across this state jump on board with us. And we want to continue to do great things, and I know we got the best fan base in the world right here. We're going to keep building and keep doing great things. So I appreciate it, and we're going to keep it rolling. Go Bulldogs. So obviously, excitement is, basketball is such an exciting sport, and you know, it's an indoor sport where you can see players' faces. You know, it's not a sport where, you know, they're hidden under a hat or a helmet. So for a university, I think that the basketball program is very important because it's one of the most visible programs, the most visible people when you're watching the sport. As long as we get the right kind of people here, I see us doing exactly what I said, which is we went from not very good to good. You know, won the Southern Conference championship this year, but to go from good to great is going to be even harder. It'll be even harder from going from not very good to good. And so our plan is to get to great. And when I say great, that's doing things that you're looking at other mid-majors do this year. You saw Florida Atlantic roll to the Final Four. And you can't say that can't be done anymore, right? There's lots of reasons to say that, hey, it's going to be tough. But to be great in men's basketball is possible. And greatness in men's basketball, you know, it's a sport where upsets happen. It's a sport where a 5-game run at the end of the season can change the whole dynamics of a university. And we're looking forward to making great things happen. Well, I think the number one thing is you got to always have a long-term view. If you're always just trying to like focus on the next season, then you know, I don't know if you can get to great. I think you can always be good. But if you have that long-term view of continuing to build things and build things the right way with the right people, and sometimes you may have to take steps backwards to actually take giant leaps forward, and that just happens sometimes. I said when I got hired that we're not going to take shortcuts here. We're not going to take shortcuts to have a pretty good year. We're going to always do things the way that it needs to be done here, the way that so many other sports here are doing things. You know, you look at the success of every program. You know, you could take our volleyball, our women's soccer, our football, and what you see, I think, is long-term success. When you start seeing that long-term success, there's a reason for that. And that's because it's a true program, right? And it has a great culture. And so we want our program to have that same kind of culture, which is a winning culture, and year in, year out, the new players that come into our program know what we're about. And if you do that, you eventually knock down the door and put yourself in position to make those magical runs that you see a lot of mid-major teams make. Yeah. So, well, the great part of building here at home is this isn't just about Samford, right? It's not about the great people of Samford who are yearning to be great at basketball, as you can see with the Pete Henderson Center being filled so many nights. Doing it at home, it means that all of Birmingham and relationships that I've had since I've lived here my whole life for 39 years have jumped on board. And we couldn't do it without them. Right? That's what I think has been so unique about our program is you have supporters that may not even gone to school at Samford, or may not have been a Samford supporter years ago, but now are jumping on board and have been a major part of our success. In a day of NIL and a day of transfer portal, that where everything kind of seems to be more like professional sports, I don't think the mid-major programs have lost sight of team, right? And some of the high major programs, it's all about, you know, it's a lot of me going on, and it's a lot of transactional. It's about transactional relationships, right? And at the mid-major level, it still has the premise of that feeling of college sports. And when you have that, and you can return a lot of guys, and it's not a complete roster turnover year by year, I think that is something that people like to rally around, right? And I think that's what college is all about. And I think that when you see the Pete Hanna Center filled, and you see our players and the students storming the court arm in arm, it's because they don't look at those players like they're professional athletes. They look at them like they're classmates, right? And so when you have that true team, you see the mid-major teams having such success, because, you know, teams and continuity and guys coming back and playing together, it always has that chance to outdo just sheer talent. So that's what we want to do here, and that's what we're going to do. We want to have that continuity and that culture that all great programs have. Look, one thing that we've been doing is we've been recruiting winners. So whether it's regardless of height, size, statistics, we've recruited a lot of guys who have won. And I think when you get winners together and guys who know how to win, that continues. And you can get talent with guys who have never won. There's a reason for that, right? You know, you've heard the saying, winners know why they win, losers don't know why they lose. And when you have a lot of winners together, they know what winning is, and they know how to do that. So we've recruited, we have now signed 6 players. We have 2 more open scholarships. We're still looking, but we're looking for the right fit. We've signed pretty much every position. We signed 4 freshmen, 2 transfers. And that's going to come back with a great nucleus of the players that we have returning. So I'm looking forward to what we got. I think that the Southern Conference, obviously it's a great league, but you know, every year we know that everybody in this league is going to build a great team. And so every day that you're sleeping and you're not recruiting, you're not getting the right pieces, you're getting left behind. And that's right now, while this is probably the most stressful, busiest time of year right now, is putting this team together. You win more games this time of year than you do it next year in the middle of January. Right? You got to get the right people on the bus heading in the right direction.